Crystal is from This Is All Beings Considered, and Crystal is on the other side. There she is, out and about.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Crystal, where in the world are you now?
I'm outside the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown LA.
The Metropolitan Detention Center.
This is the federal detention center where they take people who are awaiting federal trial. They take ICE detainees. And a man just died yesterday here at the federal detention center.
A man.
Did you read about that?
I did not. Was it a man within the detention center, outside of the detention center, a protester, a detainee, a soldier? Who was it?
This was Daniel Jonghyun Park, who was a 32-year-old man from Washington detained on federal terrorism-related charges involving a car bomb in Palm Springs. Remember that event?
Oh, I do. Yeah, that guy died?
Yeah, he died yesterday. 32-year-old man died inside of this federal detention center.
Do we know how he died?
No, it's not been publicly disclosed. Legal counsel has suggested the possibility of suicide. And what's particularly interesting about this place is the inmates don't go outside. It's very much a confined facility here in the heart of downtown Los Angeles.
Well, if they let them go outside, they might form SOS and help. They might scream help and help me, save me. They might, every time they let these detainees out, they beg for help and freedom.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of concerns with this facility, including overcrowding, lack of medical care, excessive use of solitary confinement, including for pretrial detainees who are legally presumed innocent. So
I find it a little interesting that the only person I've heard of to die in this detention center so far is the vegan antinatalist who bombed the IVF. I mean, I know, just saying, the one guy is the guy who bombed the IVF, not anything else, not a suspect. I have my suspicions on this one. I'm a little worried about that. So is there any action there? Are there anyone screaming and yelling, anything going on?
No, there are a couple of people here just observing, but no signs or anything so far. But I mean, it is interesting. There seems to be a few more people than I would have seen previously. You'll see there's Marines and Army people here, and there's cars lined up here behind me that I haven't really seen before.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a lot of cars.
Out here, you'll notice there's some people who are taking down license plate numbers of the cars that come in and out and monitoring, activities that way and sharing this information too.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, they could say, okay, these are federal cars. That's interesting. They put them on a registry. You got to register the registrars. That's man, Pam Bondi a few hours ago was asked what she's doing about masked men pulling people into vans and not identifying themselves. And Pam Bondi said, "This is the first time I'm hearing about it." She said this is the first time she's hearing about it.
Yeah.
And that she'd be glad to look further into the matter.
Yes.
Yes, she's going to look into it to figure out why they're being masked, why masked men are kidnapping people. Let's talk about a couple other things while you're standing there. Eduardo Albor, the ex-CEO of the Dolphin Company, was just accused of orchestrating a scheme to divert sales revenue from during the bankruptcy of Miami Seaquarium. I know that's a company you've been covering closely. Are we any thoughts there about what's going on?
Yes, I mean, some of our honor vets have been tracking Miami Seaquarium for well over 20 years now and have known it. But the Dolphin Company did just purchase Miami Seaquarium, I think around 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've been tracking and monitoring the situation there. Initially, we were hopeful that, this purchase of Miami Seaquarium would mean changes, but no, quickly we found out it did not lead to changes at all. Several veterinary assistants, veterinary staff reached out to us with their concerns that they weren't paying their bills, they weren't paying their employees. Labs were no longer taking Miami Seaquarium samples. They could no longer purchase some of the much needed equipment and supplies for these animals, and
or pay their people, right?
They weren't paying their bills. And this has been going on for, well over 2 years now. And it seems like every week another allegation of misconduct by Eduardo Albor comes out. Before it was, remember the armed men that he brought with him to break into the offices? There's always something wild going on with Eduardo Albor. And now, of course, he's diverting funds. They've declared bankruptcy, but Miami Seaquarium is still open to this day. A lot of activist groups stated victory, after the mayor evicted them. But it's been more than a year, and the Miami Seaquarium remains open.
Yeah, the county has said that their lease is being rejected, and yet they haven't actually carried out any eviction proceedings. And they declare bankruptcy, but usually when you declare bankruptcy, the court orders you to freeze funds basically and start paying your creditors. But it looks like he's actually betraying. He's actually just contradicting and just ignoring the court mandates, and is simply using the money for other stuff, diverting it into other places. So at the end of the day, what does this mean for Miami Seaquarium? Are we going to see this guy's not even the CEO anymore, right?
Yeah, I think it's time for activists to go there and see for themselves what's going on with the animals, and send veterinarians footage so that we can assess what's going on. And it's really disturbing that we haven't gotten any more footage from activist organizations inside of Miami Seaquarium to see the conditions. And no whistleblowers are coming forward. It seems like all of the whistleblowers who were talking to us quit, and now we're lacking some of that insider information that was so vital to moving this campaign along.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you on a lavalier mic? Are you on the lav right now? Or
yes,
are you on
I am.
Can you take it off and hold it in front of your mouth? Is that possible?
Hold the lav. Oops.
Yeah.
That's not that one.
You got two mics on you?
Yeah. I've got my TikTok live, but I didn't end up setting up the mic on that one.
Oh, this is 100 times better. 100 times better. Yeah.
Just putting it up to my mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So much better. Thank you. I think there's just too much ambient noise that is picking up, but you sound great now.
Okay.
Okay. So what does this mean for we need? What I heard you say was we need more.
Everybody always says what does this mean for Miami Seaquarium? But yes, we need more activists to go there every day and document. Yes. Get a season pass. Go there and document the conditions of the animals. The animals need you. You should be going there and documenting instead of just protesting outside. And here, this is going to get me in trouble, but you got to go inside and you got to see for yourselves. You can't just protest outside.
I mean, we need the evidence. We need photographs. We need
and we're
video.
Talking about Miami Seaquarium. We're not talking about the Metropolitan Detention Center for the men with guns who are listening.
Although we need whistleblowers.
And may only hear part of it.
We need whistleblowers there as well, though, don't we? I mean, there was a whistleblower today from the DOJ saying that Emile Bove was saying that they don't have to follow court orders, and now we have this guy, your boy. Who's
Emile Bove? I'm not up on all of my news yet.
Emile Bove is, you probably have, if you saw a picture of him, you'd recognize him because he was always sitting next to Donald Trump during his felony court case. He's the a defense attorney of Donald Trump. He's a close personal attorney of Donald Trump. He and the DOJ have a whistleblower in the DOJ said that Emile Bove and others are basically saying that they will tell the judges F you if they tell them to stop deporting or doing anything of the sort. So pretty funny that we're just complete blatant disregard for the courts, and here we are talking about Eduardo Albor doing the same thing. Does the rule of law mean anything anymore?
Not if you're a man in position of power with money, that's for sure. The rule of law means nothing. Yeah,
that's amazing. Awesome. Well, I mean, I guess like this diversion is something that we'll need to see, just keep an eye on. I mean, they filed for Chapter 11. We need more people looking into it. You can always go to WLRN.org and look at their law and justice section, everybody, and read more about what we're talking about with Miami Seaquarium, or go to ourhonor.org/blog news/Seaquarium. There's something else that's been going on in kind of the vegans.
Can you put that link in the chat? So this is the timeline of events that happened at Miami Seaquarium, and this includes all of our FOIA documents that we've gotten on Miami Seaquarium so far, as well as pictures and video documentation. So check that out. It's one of the most comprehensive places with all of the details. This is more than just a dolphin with a nail in their throat and a dead orca. There's so much more to this story than just dying animals. So, see that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you and I have been to Miami Seaquarium and taken photos and looked at what's going on there. It's shocking, and I think that people need to be out there documenting what's happening, especially as they circle the drain, like what's happening to these animals. It's horrible. So everyone, that link is now in the chat. You can check that out. Now there's another thing going on in kind of vegan sphere, and I wanted to ask you about it. This is something that I really didn't know too much about. It's a name that I only kind of tangentially knew. Michaela Rain of Save a Fox. Now, I saw the same thing you did of her husband, what appeared to be a heartfelt display of emotion about the passing of his wife. Michaela Rain took her own life. I don't know how or what the details are about her having taken her own life, but I know that it resulted from online bullying, it seems.
She got a great deal of online bullying, and you'll see from her videos responding to a lot of the bullying. It's just awful and cruel what these young women have to deal with, and possibly she took her life because of it, and that's just heartbreaking. And it's so disturbing to the messages that continue to say that she had it coming because she wasn't doing things the right way, which are unfounded and deeply hurtful. And now people saying that her husband killed her. We should not speculate about these things. It's a tragic situation. And I hope that there's not more young people who are going to die because of animal rights activists bullying them this way. It's
animal rights activists
too. We've all experienced it, and it's awful how toxic this community is.
I mean, we've all anyone who's shown their face on the internet in the animal rights space has faced it. I know you have. I have to a different degree, but I have as well. I think it's far worse for women because even though I don't know, although I will say no one ever called me ugly or all these horrible names about my appearance until I was an animal rights activist online. That never happened. No one ever called me names about my appearance until I became an animal rights activist openly on the internet. Then it was, I guess, open season. I know that women face that constantly, activist or not. And then I know that she was also on the spectrum when it comes. She was an autistic person, and I feel like she was open about that, and she told people she was, how the hell don't we have any compassion for each other? Don't we have any grace for each other? I mean, you might disagree with her. I guess they were disagreeing with her sanctuary or something. I don't know what the criticisms were.
We don't need to repeat any criticisms because they're unfounded and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's everybody. The animal rights movement incentivizes moral actions of moral superiority, behaving in a moral superior way. If you can like one up your fellow activist as somebody who's even better, like that's going to be rewarded with clicks and everything. And that's what people are trying to do. They're all trying to expose somebody who's getting any sort of attention as being a bad person who's, causing drama, spreading gossip, harming the animals, whatever it is. It's awful.
That's the thing that sticks out to me. It doesn't seem like it was criticism. What I saw was bullying. And I think there is a distinction there, right? There's a distinction between criticizing someone's tactics and strategies, or you and I argue about this every Sunday on Ethical Underground. We argue about these things. We talk about them. We discuss them in respectful ways, I hope, most of the time.
Yeah, we don't say you're a bad person and need to be canceled and I hope you die.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And that's what the mean-spiritedness of all this is what really stands out. Like, the stuff I'm seeing about her husband now, that he was fake crying and all this, it's like
that. Yeah, he probably did it. That sort of thing. Got to me. It's awful.
It got to me because, man, I recently went through a tragedy in my life where I lost a family member, and there's so much that happens about all your self-doubt and how you're processing your guilt and the doubt of whether or not you're processing the guilt in the right way. That is a problem. Like it's all heavy lifting when you lose someone close to you. Where is this community? What is going on? Are you
able to perform sincerity well enough for the public to have sympathy for the fact that your wife died? Like, that's disturbing.
Especially when you don't know how you're going to raise your daughter now. She was a mom too, a mother, a wife, probably a sister, certainly a daughter. And it's like, this is how we treat somebody who, as for all I can tell, was on the right side of, like, was trying to help animals, man. She was a fox. She wanted to save foxes, like, from the fur rescue.
What if she ate eggs, though? Then does she deserve to die?
Well, I don't think she deserves to die. I don't know how. I don't know that much about her, except I knew about Save a Fox.
I don't know if she's. But who cares whether she's vegan or not? I just that's ridiculous. I don't know. Nobody cares. Nobody deserves that. Whether or not they can withstand billions of dollars of marketing. I don't. Yeah. Maybe she was vegan. Maybe she wasn't. It means nothing to me.
Well, it definitely means nothing to me now that she's dead. I know that if she were alive, maybe I would be like, don't eat eggs. But Jesus, like, she's not with us anymore. People are missing her. Like, they don't know if these foxes are what they're gonna do anymore. They don't know what's gonna happen, and yet here we are. It's shocking to me, and I don't know what to make of it. Honestly, the comments on these videos are just too much for me, and the ones about the guy kind of got to me because he's just processing guilt at this point, like, Jesus, and trying to make sure it keeps going, stay strong. Oof, it's rough. Do you have any other thoughts about that at all?
No, I think we can move on. Like, there's plenty of commentary on that, and it's sad and it's tragedy.
It is tragic. If everyone else can look up Save a Fox if they'd like. AVMA resolutions came out yesterday, or not yesterday, a few days ago. The convention is going to be in Washington, D.C. in July, mid-July. You're going to AVMA. We're going to have our honor meetup at the AVMA. If you're going to the AVMA, you totally should meet up with us.
Yeah, and if you're in the area, if you're going to the convention, email us info@ourhonor.org and let's arrange something. Let's get together. So yeah, and I know there might be some activist groups demonstrating outside the AVMA. So if you wanted to get involved with that, I could direct you to the right people. Our Honor, we don't do protests, but other people might be. So
they might be, yeah. I mean, maybe they'll have megaphones even. with
no,
cool stickers.
Let's hope not. I will, if they do have megaphones, I will advise them not to do the megaphone thing. That's not cool and not received well by veterinarians. What we do want is people showing footage, talking thoughtfully about these things, and encouraging veterinarians to join them and take pictures with them and support activism. So that's what we want. We don't want megaphones that are disturbing people and making people angry and making people feel targeted.
Well, the AVMA has a lot of resolutions to be talked about that are coming out that will be discussed at the House of Delegates meeting there. We have resolution number 9, pediatric sterilization of dogs, cats, and rabbits. When you say pediatric sterilization of dogs, cats, and rabbits, does that mean pediatric, like they're juvenile animals? Is that what that means?
Yep, absolutely.
So baby dogs, puppies, kittens.
Yeah. I don't know what dogs and cats when they're 2 pounds, and that's when we do it, because if we found, people are always wondering, why do you sterilize animals so young? And it's because when they're in the shelter, they're more easy to adopt when they're young. Well, then why don't you give people a voucher when they adopt them so they can come back when they're older and you can spay neuter them later when they're older? Well, because people don't come back with them. And then they have puppies and kittens, and then we have more animals in the shelter. So we have to spay neuter them before they reach puberty and before they have puppies and kittens to prevent that from happening. So I haven't actually sat down and read through this resolution yet. So let's read it. And how's my sound, by the way? Is this fine?
Good. Yeah, good.
Okay.
I can hear engines behind you, but I can hear you clear now.
Okay. Resolved that the American Veterinary Medical Association House of Delegates adopt the revised policy on pediatric sterilization of dogs, cats, and rabbits as shown, as noted below. Additions are underlined, deletions are struck through. The AVMA recognizes there are multiple methods available or under development to sterilize animals and supports the concept of pediatric reproductive sterilization in dogs, cats, and rabbits in an effort to reduce the number of unwanted animals of these species. Modern pediatric anesthesia and surgery have been shown to be safe, effective, and have low rates of surgical complications. Veterinarians should use their best professional judgment based on the current scientific literature, recommending at what age reproductive sterilization should be performed on individual animals, weighing both individual animal considerations as well as population level considerations where applicable. The AVMA encourages further research to better understand the risks, benefits of reproductive sterilization at all ages. I think that's fine. I'm supportive of that. What do you think? Do you have any concerns?
No, I don't have any concerns. I think it's interesting. I didn't really know that it was a problem. So I like that when we read these things, I'm like, oh, that's an animal issue too. That's kind of in my blind spot. We talk about these vegan blind spots. I think that is one, But no,
I do get another issue I've been bullied on and harassed on is the fact that I spay and neuter animals young. And this resolution hopefully will set the record straight. Although a lot of people who criticize young animals being spayed and neutered aren't really going to care what the AVMA says. So I don't think it's going to, do that much. But at least if somebody tries to file a board complaint against me for spaying or neutering an animal at a young age, I'll have this to back me up. There was one lady at the shelter, she adopted a dog from our shelter, puppy, and came back and was like, I went to my vet and they said you spayed the dog too young, and now she's going to have a a hooded vulva or something, and she's going to have constant UTIs. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. And this is why we decided to spay your dog before you adopted her. And I had a long conversation with her, and I thought we had like reached an understanding that I was acting, in the dog's best interest. But then like some people, they forget your conversation that you had, and then she sends a nasty email to my boss afterwards.
Oh, nice.
So, I did get in trouble because my boss is like, well, yeah, this is what we do. But still, it's like, well, that's a lot of effort, lady.
That's like, well, people, they do that. They still want to stick it to you. That happens all the time. I remember, I know that I had that. I would talk with people. Everything would be cool. I would buy someone the dinner. I would, as a restaurant manager, buy their drinks, and we'd all be great. And they'd thank me profusely. And then they would leave, email my boss, leave a nasty Yelp review. And it's like, we did everything we could to recover you. We had a conversation. I ate so much shit. And yet still, this is how okay. Some people, that's just what they have to do. That's just what makes them feel good about their lives, Resolution number 10, therapeutic pet food health claims.
I read through this. So I'm clicking on this. They struck out a lot, and they added a lot here. Let me see. So this thing used to be really long, and now it's like literally one sentence. And this is what the new thing is going to say. AVMA supports state and federal regulation of cat and dog food products intended to be fed as the pet's sole diet that also claim to treat or prevent disease when the food product is made available to the public only through licensed veterinarians or through retail or internet sales to individuals purchasing the product under the direction of a veterinarian. Well, that's interesting. Okay, the AVMA supports state and federal regulation of cat and dog food products intended. Okay, all right. Let's read what it used to be, because they struck out what it used to be, and what it used to be was quite long. And what it used to be says the AVMA recognizes that the Food and Drug Administration uses enforcement discretion in the oversight of certain pet food claims. Even though many of these foods could legally be considered drugs, certain claims are not FDA approved. Consequently, efficacy for these products cannot be assured. Therefore, the AVMA encourages the pet food industry to act responsibly by only making health or therapeutic claims that are supported by defensible scientific evidence. Veterinarians should assess relevant product information through principles of evidence-based medicine prior to using or recommending wellness or therapeutic pet foods. In the interest of pet safety, AVMA recommends the FDA require all pet food products with implied or explicit health or drug claims include a prominent statement on the label indicating that these claims have not been evaluated by the FDA, as well as appropriate warning and cautionary statements when appropriate. In the interest of pet safety, AVMA recommends the FDA require that the product to be made available to the public only by order of a licensed veterinarian within the confines of a veterinary client-patient relationship. The AVMA encourages the public to consult with their veterinarian before purchasing pet foods that are marketed to have specific health and therapeutic benefits. All right. It's interesting that they remove the FDA and make it all about state and federal regulation. Is this a MAHA move? I wonder.
You think it's a MAHA move? I think it's a I don't want to get sued move. I think, do you remember not so long ago?
I'm losing you.
You can hear me? Hello, can you hear me? I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right,
but you got all robotic on me for a second.
Okay, I think that was probably a buffer. All right, so as you probably remember, breakfast cereals, I think Kellogg's, General Mills, all of them faced huge lawsuits very recently because they put out advertisements of how if your kid eat cereal in the morning, then they won't be antsy in class. And they would always show like a boy who was clearly suffering from ADHD, and then he would be like freaking out and stuff, like kind of doing the ADHD thing, and then they would give him the cereal and he would go to school and like be able to study and get good grades. And it was false advertising. It was almost like selling these things as a drug. I feel like that's what we're talking about here. Like these your shiny coat and all these things are going to give you your dog's going to be, your old dog's going to be a young dog again, and all of this. And it feels like a cover their asses thing or something.
Feels to me like this old one is overly complicated. Let's streamline it. Let's cover, like, I don't know. I think it's a very smart streamline. I'm not going to read too much into it.
All right. Well, someone has a question for you. I think you said they were 2 pounds, but the question is, what is the right age for puppies to be spay or neutered?
Depends on the situation, and this decision should be made based on your lifestyle, based on the breed. So I used to also work for Guide Dogs for the Blind, and I would do spays and neuters on the golden retrievers and labs that were used for Guide Dogs for the Blind. And they found that when they spayed and neutered their dogs less than a year and a half of age, there was an increase in cruciate issues, like knee issues in the dogs. Because when you do spay and neuter them, it's that when they reach puberty and they start producing testosterone and estrogen, that closes the growth plates. That production of testosterone and estrogen closes the growth plates. So if you spay and neuter them young, their long bones grow longer. And that disrupts the angles, and that can lead to knee problems at a very low rate. And we're talking pretty insignificant. But they would spay and neuter those dogs young if they were having behavioral issues, if they were proving too difficult to train. Because it's like trying to train a hormonal young dog is very difficult. It's easier when those hormones are not there, and they have less aggression and all of these issues. So it really depends. There's various studies out there about cancer risk in various breeds and recommendations on what age you should spay and neuter them. But I would take all of those studies with a grain of salt, because they are only looking at dogs of a specific population, usually an affluent population with the resources to go and bring their animals to a veterinary teaching hospital for cancer treatment and all of these things. So who is that? Usually dogs that are intact show dogs. They're not seeing the dogs with pyometras or infected uteruses that I see working in an access to care clinic, and mammary tumors. Like, this is what I see on a daily, if not weekly basis. And pyometra is an infection of the uterus that happens in 25% of unspayed dogs. It can be very expensive to treat. I spayed a dog that came to me because they got an estimate from their general practice for $12,000 to spay their dog at a corporate clinic. And we did it for $1,200. So it can be extremely expensive and life-threatening to the dog. So that's why I kind of push for, like, just do it before they get into heat, which is usually at 6 months of age. But if you can wait and you are training your dog and you have a larger breed dog and you want to wait, go for it. But do know that larger breed dogs, spaying and neutering them later, it's going to cost you a lot more money too, because bigger dogs are harder. It's a more difficult surgery. It's a longer surgery. So it's going to cost you more.
Okay, so we're talking rule of thumb, talk to your vet before the 6 month mark. All right.
Yeah, make a plan. Yeah, figure out your lifestyle and the dog.
I like that. Okay. The next resolution is on sow housing. Is this like farrow to finish stuff? What is sow housing? What's the resolution here?
So this one says the AVMA encourages the use of properly managed and improved housing systems that provide for enhanced sow welfare. There are welfare advantages and disadvantages with any type of sow housing. Decisions about sow housing should weigh scientific evidence and incorporate veterinary professional judgment. Sow housing and management should provide every animal access to appropriate food and water, promote good air quality and allow proper sanitation, protect sows from detrimental effects associated with environmental extremes, particularly temperature extremes, reduce exposure to hazards or conditions that result in injuries, pain, distress, fear, or disease to sows and piglets, facilitate evaluation and care of individual animals, provide alternative housing for sows based on evaluation of each sow's individual needs, provide sows with adequate quality and quantity of space that allows sows to assume normal postures, allow sows and piglets to express highly motivated behaviors while avoiding or minimizing expression of abnormal repetitive behaviors and aggression, include appropriate and ongoing training for people handling and working with sows to ensure they are able to provide and promote good welfare within the management system being used. So it basically says the AVMA also encourages ongoing research to improve social housing to better meet sow and piglet welfare needs. Now, that basically says that gestation crates do all of this because they don't specifically say gestation crates are not allowed.
But they're saying
thereby, but actually, I'm trying to think of like what would be a good campaign or what would be a good thing to do about that. And I think we have to ask the question outright. Does this mean that, oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
That's a nice bike. I think we should ask, does this mean gestation crates fit all of these requirements? We need to send that to our delegates, send that to AVMA leadership and ask them, does this mean that gestation crates provide for all of these things? And get them on record saying yes or no.
Well, clearly, anyone who's seen a gestation crate knows that that's not the case. They can't stand up. They can't assume natural posture. Any of those things you just mentioned, it's impossible. The first thing on there, they got to be able to stand up and stretch out. You can't do that in a gestation crate. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Another question from the audience. I have a question about baby animals. How many weeks should you wait to spay a female mother after she has babies? Can whatever drugs they put her on negatively affect the baby she's nursing?
There's some antibiotics that we would avoid if she's nursing, and there's some flea preventions that we avoid if she's nursing. But again, it depends on the situation. I have spayed, well, obviously, like French bulldogs get C-sections, right?
Yeah.
They cannot give birth naturally in most cases.
Yeah.
And so here you have animals that are opened up, sewed back together, and then the puppies nurse on her belly. We usually, after puppies and kittens, I'm like, can you just wait until after the puppies and kittens are done nursing to spay her? Because what if she, worst case scenario, very rare situation, what if she dies under anesthesia and then you don't have a mom for the puppies and kittens? So that's why I say wait till they're done nursing, and even better yet, wait till her mammary glands dry up a bit. So a couple more weeks after that. So, we usually take puppies and kittens off at 6 weeks or so. So, if you can wait, do. But if you can't for whatever reason, then I guess you can't. So we just spay her anyway and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. If she's a FRC, a free roaming cat, then it's a little difficult, right? Okay, so that was Sal.
I guess this is great content for our Ask the Vet social media posts, which will hopefully get lots of viral engagement because people seem to love that.
People love that stuff. Of course they do. Everyone's got questions about dogs and
the
cats.
Vet outside the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles.
Yeah, outside the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles while people are rotting away behind you, having been robbed of their rights. I don't know what the pain in animals one was. The resolution, the AVMA resolution, pain in animals, resolution number 13. What's that all about?
Jumping ahead, we got to do the declawing of cats one because that's kind of important.
Oh, I skipped declawing of cats. Sorry.
Yeah.
Declawing of cats, resolution 12, declawing cats.
So it says the AVMA strongly discourages veterinarians from performing onchiectomy, tenectomy, or other surgical procedure intended to prevent the normal use of the animal's claws that is not medically necessary. The amputation or other surgical alteration of the distal digits is acutely painful procedure and often results in chronic pain, maladaptive behavior, disability, and significant mutilation. Onchiectomy is a surgical amputation, and if performed, multimodal perioperative pain management must be utilized. Scratching is a normal behavior of cats that conditions the claws, serves as a visual and scent territorial marker, allows for self-defense, and provides healthy muscle engagement through stretching. The AVMA respects the veterinarian's right to use professional judgment when deciding how to best protect their individual patient's health and welfare. It is incumbent upon the veterinarians to counsel owners about the natural scratching behavior of cats, effective alternatives to surgery, as well as the details of the procedure itself, known short and long-term complications. So putting it back on the veterinarians to burden ourselves and waste our time explaining to cat people why they shouldn't chop off the fingers of their cat seems like a waste of time when we could just ban it and not waste our valuable veterinarians' time trying to convince people one-on-one not to do it, and allowing people to guilt their veterinarian into betraying their conscience and putting veterinarians in morally distressing situations.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird too because don't veterinarians waste a lot of time talking about this with people talking about people, oh, I'm thinking about declawing my cat, and how much time does a vet have to waste talking about this with people? Why is the AVMA okay with this? They could just support a ban and then we wouldn't have to have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, veterinarians' time is limited anyway, and we just dread, oh my God, I have to tell this person, and I have to explain and convince and persuade this person not to declaw their cat, something that should be banned anyway. This is such a boring waste of my time. Like, let's just...
do they get paid for that consultation? I feel like they should. It just seems like I think the AVMA needs to just support a ban. Can we just talk about pain in animals? I don't know what that one is. What's that all about?
Let's read this here. I haven't read this one yet either. We're doing our homework on the spot.
Resolution 14, pain in animals. I don't know what that is.
Oh, hold on. I'm clicking on the wrong one.
Pain in animals. I guess, pain in animals is bad.
It says, resolved that the American Veterinary Medical Association House of Delegates adopt the revised policy on pain in animals as noted below. Additions are underlined, deletions struck through, blah, blah. Pain is a negative experience that adversely affects an animal's quality of life. The AVMA believes comprehensive and humane approach to pain management for any animal is warranted, justifiable, and expected by society. The AVMA recommends the use of procedures and practices, including pharmacological and non-pharmacological methods that prevent, minimize, and relieve pain in animals experiencing or expected to experience pain. These methods should be modified as new species-specific knowledge is acquired. Protocols must be tailored and should be based in part on the species, sex, breed, age, behavioral characteristics, health status of the animal, assessment of the degree of pain, degree of tissue trauma, and procedure performed. So does this mean that we don't have to provide pain management to piglets that are castrated? That's the question I would be asking, because that is done routinely. Are you saying that producers that do not provide pain management to piglets are not obeying AVMA guidelines?
Or should we euthanize animals who are being depopulated? Should we give them pain medication before we separate their, what do you call it, cervical separation? Is that what you call it? I mean, all these things that come to mind.
Yeah.
Stuff we do to
anesthesia.
animals. Anesthesia for how about anesthesia for dehorning animals or branding them? All these other things that we do to animals. It seems that the AVMA is leaving out certain, maybe is it species specific? Are they only talking about dogs and cats? What animals are they talking about here?
No, they're talking about all animals.
Oh,
all animals.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for watching on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, and all over. If you are liking the video, please like the video. I see there's something like 75 people watching. Thank you so much for being here. Crystal's standing in front of the detention center in downtown LA. We were talking about the AVMA resolutions. If you're going to be at the AVMA in DC this year, please email info@ourhonor.org so that we can meet up. We'd love to meet up with you and talk about some of these things, talk about these resolutions, talk about revolution, talk about all sorts of stuff. Please, and if you're going to DC, if you're in the area, I think it's the 18th to the 22nd of July, hit us up. We'd love to see you.
Yeah.
Now, if we could skip ahead, I kind of want to ask you, we talked a little bit about declawing cats, and I know that there's been a little bit of movement in California about banning that, and the AVMA hasn't taken a stand about banning on. I think the AVMA is actually taking the opposite stand. It's actually against the ban in California.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem to jive with, I mean, I just seem so weird because the resolution is that it should not ever be done, but we respect the right of certain individuals to do it, which is crazy, but it shouldn't ever be done.
We do not support bans on declawing. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And also, pain in animals, we consider, but we know that declawing causes pain, short-term and long-term. They say it in their resolution, so it's very gaslighty, honestly.
It just seems like trying to have your cake and eat it too without taking a stand, right? And if you can't take a stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. And it's just, I think that's what it is. It's like so many of these wishy-washy organizations, man. I feel like all of politics is like that now. It feels like everything is like this now. Well, we're against it as a virtue signal. We're against it as a virtue signal, but we'll think that everyone has the right to do it anyway. Weird. But there is a ban on the books right now, and in June 23rd, 10-0, Senator Weber Pearson didn't vote, but the final vote is in California that it will be banned, I think. Right?
Yes. So the final vote in the Senate Business Professions something whatever on 6/23 was 10-0 with only Senator Weber Pearson not voting. As Assembly Member Alex Lee is the author of this bill. Barbara Hodges from the Humane VMA gave her testimony. The ALDF and the Humane World for Animals also sponsor and support this bill. And the city of Burbank, city of West Hollywood, all sent in support. Social compassion legislation, San Diego's Humane Society, and many others, Our Honor included, we all sent in our support. And they got some great comments. We've got A votes from every single Republican. And now there are 3 co-authoring senators, Senators Weiner, Henry Stern, and Jesse Ergine, former mayor of Berkeley, who is now a co-author of this bill. So Andrew White is the legislative director, says that the bill's analysis says there will be minor and absorbable costs to the Veterinary Medical Board, that there should be no concerns in appropriation. This is, I guess, another committee that they have to hear at the Senate Appropriations Committee regarding fiscal impact.
The Appropriations Committee. Well, yeah, that makes sense. The appropriation. This is the professionals and economic development. I think it's business professional economic development. They are the ones that kind of, they govern businesses in the state. And then the Appropriations Committee is how much is it going to cost us, is kind of who has to, they have to assess and determine whether or not it's going to cost the taxpayer anything. But I don't see how it would. How is it going to cost us anything except maybe enforcement? We have to enforce this ban, but that's got to be minimal.
Yeah, I don't even, I mean, I know this is a sticking point for many. I don't even think there needs to be enforcement. It's just like, we say it's banned. Veterinary, like, I don't know if maybe there's some weird vet who's going to continue doing it, but I think most vets don't want to do it anymore. And they need this excuse to be like, hey, it's banned. We can't do it anymore later. So
that makes sense to me. And if they have to, if they find some crazy outlying reason, they'll find some loophole. They'll have to apply and appeal. I mean, I'm sure that there will be some way around it. There always is.
Yeah. Andrew White says that the Senate floor vote may not be till September. This is also notable because this is the first time this bill has passed a Senate committee, I think, because usually the California Veterinary Medical Association kills these bills before they're allowed to be heard by the Senate committees. They let it, last time it passed the assembly, all the stuff, and then it got to the first Senate hearing, and then the CVMA killed it. So I think we might actually finally, after however many years, ban declaw in California.
And Senator too, like what is it? A bunch of times at bat trying to ban this thing, and finally it's going to happen. Maybe. Yeah. We'll find out in September, I guess.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco in 2009 when San Francisco passed its declaw prohibition, and he signed it then. So, of course, once it passes the governor's desk, he'll probably sign this one too. So
I think it'd be great. I don't think he's going to veto it for sure. And I don't know. I think it's great. California could be. Are we going to be the first state that actually bans declaw? Has another state done it?
Oh my God, yeah. And I'm blanking. Maryland has, Massachusetts has, New York has.
California's playing catch up.
ChatGPT. So tell me. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we're not the first.
For sure.
Okay, so we're not the first, but we're joining a happy group of states that have banned declaws. I think this is a good thing. We shouldn't be mutilating animals. I think even people who aren't animal rights activists can understand that, right? You don't have to actually have a full conscience. You don't have to have a fully formed conscience to understand that cutting off the first knuckle of each digit of a cat isn't kosher. That doesn't seem right. Just doesn't seem right to anybody. It just seems like it seems like that's one of those things. Before I was vegan, when I was a teenager, I knew that veal was bad, cropping ears was bad, and declawing cats was bad. I also knew that gelatin was bad. I didn't want to have gelatin either. It's gross.
It's hilarious. I've been holding up my computer with my arm for the past hour. I just switched arms, and my other arm is completely destroyed. Oh, man.
Jello? Is it jello-y?
No, it's like really hard. It's like, I hope I didn't ruin my surgery hand.
I don't think, maybe it's just buffer. You just got stronger.
Like my forearm is like just rock. I'm going to adjust my, I have my TikTok live going, and I'm going to try to move it closer to me. So maybe tell me in the chat, TikTok livers, if you can hear me, because I don't have a microphone on it. So they're just getting me from
on TikTok.
My phone, yeah. And they're not hearing you, of course, but they are seeing people coming in and out. No, now I disrupted the balance. I guess I can't move it.
Yeah, like a rock. Here we go. Look, we do have a troll. I would like to engage with the troll for a moment. Guessing games on Declaw, typical vegan mindset. I don't know what guessing games you're talking about. It's a story we've talked with a long time. I happen to be talking to a veterinarian. I've talked with lots of vets about this.
No, lots of vets who aren't vegan support bans on declawing. So understand this isn't a vegan thing at all. It's a veterinary science. We have now decades of research showing that declaw bans help protect cats, veterinarians, and the general public. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, Big Rib Salad also says that his wife's cat, or her wife's, it could be her wife's cat, I don't want to make assumptions, is declawed. Worth it, saves furniture. All
right, well, there you go.
Does it save furniture? Okay. Because there's all sorts of evidence that shows that animals actually, declawed animals end up urinating on furniture far more because of declaw. So I don't really believe it. All the evidence points to the opposite direction. So thank you for the engagement, though. I appreciate your being alert and watching the show. Yeah. Please like the video. Now,
and maybe like your cat is fine, but I, working in the animal shelter, like see a lot of cats who are declawed who come in because they are urinating outside the litter box now because they were declawed. So it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe your cat is fine, but please don't ruin this for the rest of us whose cats were not fine because of this and need it banned.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's just a selfish point of view, right? A very selfish person would mutilate another animal because they think that their furniture is more important than someone else's right to keep all their body parts. You know, it's just a really ridiculous point of view and selfish. No different than any kind of tyranny. All right, so let's switch gears, though. Are you ready for the other things?
Yeah, let's bring to we've been out here an hour, and now the heart of the matter, which is the Metropolitan Detention Center and ICE and everything. And now I think is a really important time to bring up the fact that veterinarians and all workplaces are having our people abducted from us. And my coworker's friend, who is a political refugee, who is here legally, was just abducted by ICE at his workplace. He did not have his paperwork with him at the time. And so now I think everybody at their workplace should be having workplace drills. Like, what if ICE comes to your workplace? Even if all of your workers are here legally and documented, we see people who are documented and here legally are being taken away. So we have put together some information for workplaces to help protect their team members. So we can.
So what you're saying is they're not just kidnapping child predators and sex traffickers and drug dealers. They're not just kidnapping those people.
Turns out, without any due process, you are taking people who are not criminals and should not have been taken.
No, and are even documented workers. They're even here. They've already done everything they can to be here on the right side of the law, and they're still being kidnapped. So that's disconcerting, and citizens as well. So how do we suss all this out?
So there are legal protections that employers can implement. The first one is to limit ICE access without a warrant. ICE cannot enter private areas of your business, like back offices, storage areas, without a judicial warrant signed by a judge, not just an administrative one. Employers can deny entry unless ICE presents a judicial warrant, which is a Form I-200 or I-205 signed by a judge, or consent is given, which should be avoided without legal review. Do not just give consent, please.
Yeah. It's really hard because I mean I've had inspectors come when I ran restaurants, and now I know I have friends still in the business, and they're running restaurants where they're just not gonna. They're telling people, hey, we're not gonna let you in. We're just not. That's their policy. We don't consent to search. That's going to be more and more difficult though, because like they just run in when they can't see a manager. They just come in and do what they want. It's hard, and then it puts the manager in the position of having to push them back out. It's really messed up.
So bottom line, clearly mark private versus public areas and train staff to ask for a warrant. Number 2, do not consent to searches. If ICE shows up, do not voluntarily allow them access to non-public areas or employee records without a proper warrant. ICE may use pressure or bluff tactics. Train managers and reception staff not to cave under pressure.
That's a hard one. Training your staff not to follow the orders of a man.
Run through drills, practice, because you forget what to do in these situations.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's so difficult when you've been trained to follow the orders of people in uniform. Like this is. Do you remember the guy who crossed the Berlin checkpoint, Charlie? He bought a East German uniform from a costume shop, walked up to the soldiers, saluted, and walked into West Germany, and they just let him go. Yeah. Because he had the confidence. It's so incredible. How do we know
who here hasn't walked into a place where they don't belong just by acting like you belong there?
Well, these guys are bullies. I mean, they don't care if you're here illegally or legally. They don't care. Their job is to get their quota. Their job is to try to arrest 3,000 people a day.
And literally so reminiscent of Vietnam, like it was just all, how many bodies can we get? And that means we're shooting children, we're shooting women, we're shooting not just Viet Cong, we're shooting everybody.
That's right. That's right. Oh, you've got some protesters now, huh?
Yeah, we got somebody with your favorite device, the megaphone.
I like a megaphone. There we go. A megaphone speaks truth to power.
Is my sound still okay?
Yeah, your sound's great. As long as you hold it, okay. As long as you hold it to your face, I can hear you great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a troll in the comments saying they don't get due process. They don't get due process. Well, due process is how you know who's a citizen and who's not, dummy. It's like you can't determine who's legal.
Are they saying they don't get due process? Like that's a bad thing? Yes, they don't get true facts. They don't get due process. Isn't that a bad thing?
This person seems to think that's not a bad thing.
Are they saying they don't deserve due process?
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Okay, well, why? I would ask, why don't they deserve that? Because if ICE comes and takes you, then you wouldn't be deserving of due process either, and you're okay with that?
Well, also, it's such a dumb point of view and so un-American. Like the whole point of America is that kings can't just take you and snatch you, that you have habeas corpus. You can go in front of a judge and plead your case. The judge ultimately decides who is arrested, who isn't, who is incarcerated, who isn't, not the police. Unless we're in a police state now, and that's un-American. That's like a third world country, a banana republic. I know we look more and more like that every day, but it's just I can't imagine a real American ever thinking of that. But there you go.
Yeah. So back to how employers can protect their teams. Know the difference between a subpoena and a warrant. A subpoena for I-9 forms, for example, requires a response, but not immediate access or consent for search. You may have time to consult legal counsel before responding. Prepared. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. When I was in restaurants, we got around this. The way we did it, we took our I-9s and we stored them off-site. And so when we would get La Migra would come, INS would come, and we'd say, we don't have that information. You're going to have to talk to corporate. And they would just went away. It was great. It used to be in the old days when I worked in restaurants, it'd be like, oh my God, INS is here. Everybody run. And everyone would run out the back door. Now you're like, yeah, go to my boss. You can't come in here. You don't get to disrupt my business. I-9 forms are stored off property.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good advice. So this thing recommends assigning specific staff members to respond to law enforcement or ICE inquiries. So yeah, have a police liaison. I think it's a really good idea for activists and for employers. Designate a police liaison who knows what they're talking about, or a ICE liaison, I guess. Have a protocol in place. Who talks to ICE, who calls the lawyer, and who notifies employees. Know your rights trainings, hold workshops, or distribute flyers to educate all employees, not just undocumented workers, on their right to remain silent. And I think that's what our honor we should be doing, is put this together in a document, pass this out to veterinary clinics, and let veterinarians know this is how to protect your team members.
Yeah.
Notify your team members of the right not to sign anything without a lawyer, their right not to leave if not being detained, which I think is really important. And it goes down to asking, like, what if people are taking you? You can say, am I being detained? I don't recommend, I mean, what do? You make the decision on whether you want to fight or not, but you're probably not going to win a battle of the might. And if you resist,
you can run.
You could be charged. Yeah, practice, get your cardio in now, I guess.
Get your cardio in. Like, I have personally seen many people outrun the police, but I think that when you look at people on who are being taken, you'll hear advocates, they keep on saying, no firme nada, no firme nada, no firme nada. And all they keep on saying, don't sign anything. And I think that's the best advice. The first time I got arrested, I was told, don't sign anything. And that was the best advice I ever got. I don't sign anything. I mean, unless I get the citation, then I'll sign a citation, but I don't sign anything.
Yeah. If people are being taken, always get your video out, like start recording with your phone. And if you're being taken, say you do not consent, especially if they don't have a warrant or anything, just say you don't consent. You can't resist arrest. You're going to get in trouble for that. But if you say you don't consent, get somebody on video saying that. If you can get somebody to follow them where you're being taken.
I'm starting to think more and more people should carry these. This is a body cam. I got this for $40. It records 6 hours, and after 6 hours, it just records from the front. You can just leave it on like a dash cam. I can carry it everywhere I go. Yeah, and then if something bad happens, if nothing happens, you just charge it and keep on recording every day. But if something does bad happen, then you download what happened and you can get it. Plus, you could turn it off, and when someone takes you, it'll run out of batteries eventually, which is good, because if they take you, they'll put this in a little bag, and hopefully it'll save whatever body cam footage you got of those cops. Yeah. Oklahoma's a stand your ground state. You look like a thug. I think that's about to happen. Some bad stuff is going to happen. When Pam Bondi was interviewed today, they said it's not wearing a mask is as important to the safety of the officer as it is to the citizen. The officers someone's going to fight. Someone's going to shoot a cop. It's going to happen. Like, it's just bound to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, and these people haven't done anything illegal. They've done nothing wrong. They're here legally many times. They've broken no laws.
249 people on TikTok right now. Thank you all for joining. We're also live on YouTube. If you want to find me, Dr. Crystal Heath on YouTube, and you can hear who I'm talking to right now. I'm sorry you can't hear on TikTok the other side of this conversation, but there you go. The National Guard, I'm answering for the TikTok crew. The National Guard is not still here. It is the Marines and the Army are out here, as well as there's police, but I don't know if they're federal police. They have the police badges. I don't think they're LAPD, but I'm not sure. But Marines and Army for sure. Those are with the camouflage out there. So other advice, create a safe exit plan.
We have the Marines here all the time now. We are under siege.
Oh, are you there?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. We are under siege, and then you dropped off. Yeah, I can hear you now. So other advice, create a safe exit plan. If a raid occurs, employees should have a way to safely exit or shelter. Train employees not to run, but to calmly ask if they're free to go. Ensure employees know how to contact loved ones, legal counsel, or advocacy groups. Be prepared to support employees' families, provide statements to the media, and fund legal aid. To consider setting up an emergency fund or legal defense pool.
I think that's, I mean, if you can do it, mutual aid, that'd be amazing. But really, it's about taking notes, keeping people apprised of what's going on, always communicating. I just put the body cam link to my body cam in the chat. I like it a lot. I think it's great. If immigration comes up, you scream "Chinga la migra" and you get out of there.
God, no, let's not scream anything. It doesn't help anything to yell at people. I don't think.
No, you're not yelling at them. You're misunderstanding. Usually, if you see somebody come in, you say "la migra," and that means run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not yelling at them. You're yelling in the back.
But also, if a bunch of people go running, they're going to be just like gazelles. They're going to be the ones targeted by the lions. So I think of creative ways to do this.
If they don't run, then they'll be kettled.
What not to do. Do not falsify documents or knowingly hire undocumented workers if it violates federal law. This exposes the employer to prosecution. Do not retaliate against employees for immigration status, disclosures, or participation in workplace rights activities. That's all good advice.
I like that advice. Yeah. I have to put a user on timeout because I do not tolerate spam. I'm sorry, you're on timeout, buddy. I don't mind trolls, but I can't stand spam. The spam was train employees to call immigration, and they copied and pasted it like 20 times. That's all. It's just trolling. I don't mind trolls, but like the spamming the chat, I can't operate. I can't read the chat if someone's spamming it, Spam is not vegan. That's true. Yeah. But go ahead. What else? What else?
I'm just reading the chat. Here, let's have some other steps. That's pretty much it. I think there's different rules depending on your state. California employers, there's more protections in California, obviously. AB, which kind of gives some inspiration for what groups should do in other states, that model California. I'll look at, maybe this is why California is targeted, because we have all these protections and Trump is basically saying, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work despite all your rules. So AB 450 meant that employers cannot voluntarily let ICE access non-public areas or records without a judicial warrant or subpoena.
Love it.
Shouldn't that be in all states? Shouldn't they have to have a warrant or subpoena? Oh, yeah.
Well, not only do they have to wait. It's not only that they have to have a warrant or subpoena, is that the employer can't be a collaborator without a warrant and subpoena. That I think is really important. If I, as an employer, because most employers use E-Verify, so you verify these employees. the federal government doesn't do their job, you hire them because they're I-9. They come up with an I-9, and then you have an undocumented worker, but you have all the documents. And if they don't have a warrant, why should you think otherwise? It's really crazy to be this. We have to pass a law saying that you can't turn in Anne Frank.
Yeah. And there's also SB 54, the sanctuary state law. This limits state and local police from sharing information or collaborating with ICE.
I love it.
So that's good. And they must notify employees of ICE audits and share documentation with them. So I'll give you some time, I guess. I don't know if you want to share. I have a link there in my notes of a guide for California employers. If you're in California, you can look at this guide.
Yeah, I'm posting it right now. I mean, if you're in California, but look at what happened in Texas. They passed the opposite laws. They passed laws saying you have to qualify, you have to report to ICE, you have to collaborate. Yeah. I mean,
SB 4 in Texas is the Show Me Your Papers law, and it requires local law enforcement to cooperate with ICE, including sharing information and honoring detainers. It prohibits cities from declaring themselves sanctuary cities.
Show me your papers. Yeah, I mean, I think we're basically Nazi Germany in 1939, but that's just me.
Florida also, SB 168 bans sanctuary city policies and mandates local agencies to honor ICE detainers. So, yeah, Georgia, Alabama, Arizona have historically passed anti-immigration laws, including E-Verify mandates, detention cooperation, and limiting public services to undocumented people.
We need to get it into our constitutions, or else we're not. If we don't get it into our state constitution, the federal government's going to pass a law to tear these laws down. Just wait. I know that's what's happening next, I know that's going to happen next. Once they get this big, beautiful bill passed, that's what's happening. Once they get all the poor people off their Medicaid, they'll make sure that they start passing laws about tearing apart the laws that we've passed. The sanctuary cities.
Okay. Here's a breakdown of if ICE tries to detain you, what do you do? You are not legally required to go with them. You can calmly ask, am I free to leave? If they say yes, you may walk away. If they say no, but cannot show you a judicial warrant, you can say, I do not consent to this detention. I want to speak with a lawyer. So I do not consent to detention. I want to speak to a lawyer.
You think they'll honor that?
Probably not. They're just going to shove you to the ground and throw you in the car. But if somebody has that on video, you could maybe sue.
Yeah, maybe one day when you get out of South Sudan or Libya, maybe you could sue them.
Maybe, but
when we liberate the concentration camps, you can sue the Nazis.
Ooh, my thing's gone over here. Hold on.
I love the fact that there's someone with a megaphone behind her. That's great. We need to get more of that happening. I'm on my newest signal chat. My newest signal chat that I'm a part of is Chant Leaders. I'm pretty proud to be in it.
Chant leaders where? Everywhere? What is there like a region or a...
They're all over, but I don't think they're just California. I think they're all over. It's through Indivisible, and I'm gonna Chant Leaders chat on friggin' Signal, and I'm pretty excited. It's a little bit, it's a lot, It's you get in some of these Signal chats, and it's just like notification city, but I think it's pretty cool.
Mute chats. I highly recommend for your own productivity. Mute chats. Check it a few times a day. But
I mute most of these chats. I only got a couple that are active that I get notifications for. But my phone's usually on silent. If I'm looking at my computer, it's a little bit different. But my phone's almost always on silent. I don't know about you. Do people still use ringtones? I don't use ringtones anymore.
No.
The only time my phone makes a noise when it wakes me up in the morning. Crystal, this morning on my show, go ahead.
What were you saying? Sorry.
I was just going to say something random, but this morning on my show, we were trying to determine who's in the 5 a.m. club. I think you're in the 5 a.m. club, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm the one who's technically in the 4 a.m. club.
You always wake up at 4?
Sometimes I sleep in a little bit.
Damn.
For the most part.
I'm like 5 a.m. But every once in a while I'll be like, oh God, let me stay in bed for a little while. But now I'm hitting the gym again, so I'm 5 a.m. But I'm sorry too. I was just trying to fill the air while we were trying to reestablish connection.
That's fine. I slept in this morning and went to the gym at 8:30, but mostly I didn't really sleep in. I just kind of like answered some emails and planned some stuff early before going to the gym, where my brain was really thinking, and so delayed my gym thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so
what? Okay, so
does not. Okay, what do we do now? If ICE has a judicial warrant. So much honking right now. I don't know if it's disturbing the sound.
It is, but I can still understand you for now.
But it's still fine. If ICE has a judicial warrant signed by a federal judge, not an ICE officer, then they may legally detain you and you would be required to comply. You should not resist physically, but you do not have to answer questions or sign anything. You can assert, I am exercising my right to remain silent and speak with a lawyer. Yeah. So, what happens if they detain you anyway without a judicial warrant? Unfortunately, ICE sometimes detains people without proper legal authority, relying on people's fear or lack of information. Hold on, let me adjust here.
People are unaware of their rights, and a while back they declared, the Supreme Court said you don't have to Mirandize anymore. So there you go. You don't know your rights, you don't have rights.
Yeah. If that happens, do not resist physically. State clearly that you do not consent and that you are asserting your rights. Try to record badge numbers, take mental notes, and contact a lawyer or advocate as soon as possible. Call a legal aid hotline or family member who can connect you with help. If possible, do not sign anything, especially voluntary departure papers. So.
That's how they get people. They in Texas, Greg Abbott was having people sign paperwork when they came over the border, and then they were bused to New York City or bused to Martha's Vineyard or bust, and they just dropped them off there, with no plan, nothing. They don't know anybody, just nothing. It's incredible to me. That's how you treat your neighbors. That's how you treat human beings. No respect for human dignity whatsoever. It's just the lowest of the low, this Gestapo. Where do we go from here? I mean, how do we navigate this world if we're not employers and we're not and we're not immigrants? How do we help, Crystal? Like how do we help?
I think people should pass out flyers. Like, hopefully our owners will make some flyers we can pass out to veterinary clinics to inform veterinarians of how to make sure their workplaces are safe and how to do trainings. And maybe we should even have an online training with an attorney to veterinarians. Like, maybe we could get continuing education credits for it on how veterinary clinics could protect their team members. I think that would be great.
I like that idea a lot.
I've got 295 people in my TikTok right now. So that's great. We got 4,100 likes on my live stream. So that's all good.
We have 50 people, 55 people watching on Twitter.
Nice. How many people on Twitter?
55.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody who's on TikTok right now, look for me, Dr. Crystal Heath, on YouTube, our honor 070. What is our honor weird thing? Our honor on 7010 on YouTube. Our honor vets on all the social media. Dr. Crystal Heath on TikTok, on Twitter, on Red Note, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Facebook. Follow me there. There's a lot of people trolling in my Twitter, but I appreciate the engagement. Oh, we're up to
on TikTok
5,600 likes on TikTok. That's fantastic.
You always see that stuff on TikTok. It's troll city. What are you gonna do? Well, okay, I like that idea. So in at the places that I'm going on when I do my protests on the weekends, we hand out these things called red cards. We call them red cards, and it's just a list of rights, and they're bright red, so people can look in their pocket and see it very quickly, and they can see what their rights are. And we hand them out to everybody, and we say anybody who's at risk can have a red card. Please give these out. And I think they're valuable. You know, people don't know their rights. Yeah,
absolutely.
If I can be vegan, what's your excuse? Says I thought about making little booklets and passing them out to businesses, etc., similar to what animal activists have do with veganism. I mean, I think that's great. I think we should. This is what anarchists called mutual aid. Mutual aid, help each other, so that because we can't rely on our government, we can't rely on our local state governments to help us. The Republicans and Democrats have let us down. We have to rely on each other now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
how many protesters
do you have?
are there?
Oh, there's 2 people with signs, 1 person with a megaphone. So small group.
Well, it's Wednesday. Hopefully this weekend there'll be more.
I mean, the weather's beautiful. There's not sun blasting. It's the perfect temperature. It's t-shirt weather. Come out and see what's going on and help monitor the license plates of cars going in and out.
To the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown LA. Yeah, I mean, how many people do you think are in there? Do you know?
It's like 900 and something people detained.
900 and something? Oh my God. Jesus. Are they full?
I don't know.
I'm going to Google that really quick. How many? And 1 person died there so far.
Yeah.
What is the occupancy? I guess, like, what is the inmate occupancy of the Metro Detention Center in Los Angeles? That's my question for Google today.
Do you want me to? I can kind of give you guys a tour with the camera here.
Yeah, 931. 931 inmates is their capacity. They have both male and female offenders, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It serves as an administrative facility for all security levels and is part of Western Region of Bureau of Prisons.
How big it is.
Wow. How can you be such a government simp to say that this fascist looking piece of architecture is look at this thing.
Brutalist architecture.
Yeah, I mean it kind of looks brutalist. I mean, brutalism was trying to find beauty within that, right? In that type of structure. But that is a brutalist piece, I think. Yes. Ugly brutalism, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they saying shame on you? Ice out of LA. I like it.
Yeah. Cool.
Looks like people are trying to leave. Like, I don't know who's leaving. Are they soldiers? Do they have masks on? These just regular old workers.
That guy doesn't have a mask on. Let's see.
This lady. Oh, she's got a little megaphone.
Mm-hmm.
Little cheerleader megaphone.
What do we think about the shame message? Is that helpful, or should we do deep canvassing of the? There's been lots of people, trying to do deep canvassing of the military, but everybody's doing their own tactics.
Well, I mean, standing there and holding people accountable, I'm here for it. I like the fact that someone is there saying shame on you. You know, I mean, it is a shame. It is unfortunate that no one is there to hold these people accountable, you know? Like, these people are operating with impunity. Not on this lady's watch. She's not allowing it. She's not allowing them to, not on her watch. She's going to impugn them.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people. Oh, is that Cintas? Is that Cintas? What is that? What is that? That's U.S. mail.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. USPS is in there. Hopefully, there's someone escaping in there.
That would be an interesting. I want to write a novel about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna mail myself. If they can mail baby chickens.
Just getting the entire postal service to like arrange a way to free detainees or something.
Yeah,
free people. It would be kind of like this weird. It would be a good novel.
We are living in the darkest timeline, I think. As you can see, they still haven't. Why haven't they scrubbed all that graffiti off if they've had this?
No, they purposefully leave that up so that you can't have ABC News parked out front, you know, doing a live feed or whatever, because they don't want, you know, bad words in their background.
Yeah. Clever.
So kind of sends the message to other people like, look, we're just being attacked with all these people using this this non-virtuous language, which, you know, isn't helpful. As activists, we want to be virtuous people, and I don't think bad words help our image of being virtuous people.
What, F word? Like the F word?
Yeah, like crude language. Is that? And I'm thinking about like Benjamin Franklin and like his idea of like the 12 virtues that he tried to follow, which also can be very severance.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say, okay, what do you? The 12 virtues of Benjamin Franklin, something I haven't thought about for a long time, but yeah, it's a little.
You know, like adding like beauty would be like my virtue would be like beautifying a place, and I think graffiti goes against my virtue of like wanting to put the sparkle on things, making everything beautiful. So that's where I think Banksy does. Like, I was thinking about what kind of graffiti do I like? Like, I like Banksy's graffiti because it's beautiful.
So you think that if they painted something beautiful on the walls, it would be okay, but then they would paint over that.
Yeah, exactly. So
they would paint over that. They wouldn't let it stay.
Yeah.
I'll stand a little past the trees.
I think that it's I can hear someone else talking.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Here, I can put my mic up here closer so that you can only hear me.
Okay.
Do you have a piece of writing or anything that you're working on that you want to go through or anything?
I do, but I don't know that I want to go through it while you're standing on the streets of LA. I have one queued up because it's, I don't know, it's hard to, I guess I don't know. I don't know, because it's weird to try to like go to workshop a piece of an op-ed. I have like 3 queued up. I have one about fireworks. I have one about the price of eggs. I have one about horses. Well, I have an outline about the one for horses. But
we really need to like get the eggs thing going. Like, that's really what we're working on. And I think it's been too delayed, and we're far behind on achieving our OKRs for press and op-eds. Yeah. So we really have to get that going. And I don't think it's weird at all. And I think we need to do it. So
I mean, it's a little dated at this point, but sure.
Well, let's fix it. Like, how do we fix it? I'm just going to show this guy. He's like got his ID up here, and I don't know what he's doing. Is he trying to be detained?
I don't know what he's doing. He's just showing his ID or something. I don't know.
You can use dogs to help the cause, you know?
Oh, it's cute. There's a cute little puppy here too.
Oh, cute little puppies.
A cute little dog. Yeah. All right. Anyway. let's get working on this. Let's do it.
Okay.
I could join. I could have my live stream of the thing going. If you want to see my face, I can start another live stream.
No, I mean I've seen your face.
Okay, cool. Can you put
I
this one in the signal chat so I can look at it?
Sure. I wanted to also, like, I was thinking a lot about the use of profanity for this stuff, and I was thinking about how, oh, it looks like you already have, here, I'm going to go ahead, anyone with a link. How did you, I don't know if you watched, but Donald Trump actually screamed and said that these people don't know what the F they're doing, and then he ran. Did you see that when he was talking to the news, and then he ran after saying
don't know.
it?
Yeah, I saw that.
They've been fighting for so long, and they don't know what the F they're doing.
Yeah.
And here, I just put it in. I just DM'd you.
Perfect.
And, so it made him look so weak because he's such a poor cursor. Like, it just, but also I was thinking, I can't think of anyone less cool than Donald Trump. And it made me think, man, maybe cursing isn't cool anymore. Maybe cursing isn't cool anymore. You think Donald Trump's cool?
I was listening to his press conference this morning, and I'm like, I could see the appeal. Like, you have to get into the head of, like, why is this guy so have such broad support? And I tapped into that, and I'm like, I get it. Like, I get the irreverence. He's like a caricature of himself. He's like saying all the Trump things, and it's like a old song that you are used to hearing, and it's absurd, and he's funny and all of the things. So I don't think he's not cool. I wouldn't describe him as that.
You would describe an 80-year-old man as cool. Okay, got it.
It's like, would you call, like, a piece of writing inspiring or not? Like, it's that piece is not inspiring. It doesn't mean it's not inspired. It doesn't mean it's inspiring. Just because, like, inspiring isn't a word that you would use for it doesn't mean it's not inspiring. Cool is not a word I would use to describe Trump, but that doesn't mean he is therefore cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to say that we should stop using F words and profanity because he's co-opted it. It's not cool anymore to use because the power. It used to be you use profanity because the bosses and the powerful, they're afraid to use those words. But the punk, the person who's speaking truth to power, the person who's fighting against that, he is. I can't even think with this guy yelling.
No,
Who's
sorry.
Screaming?
Yeah, here, I'll show you. This guy, he's got his driver's license out, and you maybe speak his language, or you can tell me.
Please. I got every information. 2 years working right here for everyone.
Seems like the number of police. They're kind of gathering right now. Let me show you.
The cops are?
Yeah, they're kind of gathering behind this little here. They're the Marines. army or whatever they are. Now, maybe they're. Not sure. And there's that in Europe. And also, if you want to see what I'm showing on TikTok, I'm showing with my camera. And then there's a little dog that's very cute. There's the dog. There's a little dog. I'm showing the TikTok people the little dog.
Okay.
Ooh.
Does she call herself a crazy cat lady right now?
Yeah, that was a thing with the libs
JD
for a while.
Well, JD Vance would called crazy cat lady, called law liberals or crazy cat ladies. Childless cat ladies. That's what he called her. Called Taylor Swift a childless cat lady. But what's his deal? Is he okay?
I don't know. Do you know what he's saying?
I mean, he's speaking English, but I can only hear every other word.
Against our Constitution.
Somebody says in the chat, harassing random jail employees. I don't see how this is harassing them, but I could be wrong. Please explain.
No, I don't know how anyone's being harassed right now. But this guy seems very agitated.
Yeah, here I'm gonna move back to so you can see.
I think he lives here. Looks like more people are gathering, huh? Oh, there we go. We're at war in America, but we're too afraid. We're too afraid to put soldiers in Iran, but we'll put soldiers right here against American citizens. It's always nice to see.
It's getting a little breezy out here now. Maybe they're rotating out over here. That guy's on break.
Oh, they're doing the changing of the guards, huh?
Maybe.
Y'all deserve better than this.
That's why they were gathering. They're going to do a shift change, it looks like.
And here's just like a random lady with a little Volkswagen.
With a what?
She seems like a random Asian lady driving out with her Volkswagen. Like, I don't really, she doesn't seem like a bad guy.
No.
There's all these guys.
But I mean, how do we rescue the people inside? How do we rescue them?
That's the question, isn't it? We all become postal workers.
We all become
And we do
postal
an
workers.
Ocean's 13, Ocean's 11 sort of situation.
Well, did people die in Bastille Day? Was Bastille Day?
No one anymore. Only like my people. The people, these people.
What's the most engaging? Which should I do this shot for a while?
Yeah, there you go.
Shot?
The most engaging shot. I think that would be it right there. Yeah, I want to rescue them. I mean, I don't know how many people in there are detainees. We don't know who's who, right? I mean, the guy who got killed was the suicide bomber. Well, I thought that he died in that bomb. The guy who bombed the.
Maybe there was another one.
I thought the guy who died. I don't know. You said that there was a car bomb in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. Yeah, that guy with the fertility clinic guy.
Yeah, is
He's
that
the one
the
who
guy?
died.
He just died in a...
He was the other one who they captured.
Oh, and now he's dead too.
Yeah.
Wild. So there's people dying in there. And we don't know. We don't know how, and we don't know who's who. We don't know how many people. They say there's 937 max capacity there.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna put my jacket on for a second. Might not hear me for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
But feel free to keep talking and keep working on your op-ed or read your op-ed to me or whatever you want to do.
Sure, I can read the op-ed. I mean, this is written obviously during the massive problem with Trader Joe's. I walked into my local Trader Joe's last week to pick up a few groceries. When I saw it, a handwritten sign taped to the cold, empty shelves where eggs usually sat. Due to an egg shortage, customers are limited to 2 dozen eggs per household.
Another egg shortage in the future, and we can use that. So let's copy and paste this whole op-ed, make a new Google Doc, and we'll just like not feel bad totally slicing this one up. You know what I mean? And you can save your old one for when Trader Joe's has another egg deal that we want to reach, or another grocery store we start seeing empty egg shelves or whatever.
I think, yeah. Or we can look. I can look at the one about the fireworks. I mean, 4th of July is coming up. It might actually get a chance to get published since fireworks are going to be.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah, whatever you're enthusiastic about.
Well, I'm thinking about possibilities.
Definitely need a avian flu one too, definitely. But whichever one you're most passionate about.
All right, let me look it up really fast. All right, sundown in Toontown. All right. Here we go. It's about fireworks. Are we ready?
Okay.
Okay.
And did you share the link with me so I can look at it?
I'm sharing it right now. Okay. When you worked at Popcorn 10, the managers told you to be out of Toontown before sunset. This was not a casual suggestion. Popcorn 10 was the most boring assignment at Disneyland, but they acted like it was like the world was riding on your shoulders as you counted your inventory and wheeled out the outdoor vending HQ. Your inventory lead needs to be capitalized. Your inventory lead would remind you, get out of there as soon as you can. Sunset is at 7. Popcorn 10 was the only popcorn wagon with a prop, a bathtub with cartoon duck feet on the bottom of a funny shower head on top, on the bottom, and a funny shower head on top that you filled with ice to keep your bottled drinks cold and on display. It waited for you backstage, and you weren't allowed to wheel it back to HQ for fear of damaging it. An official escort followed you out and helped you load the duck tub and left you there for 8 hours.
It's starting to lose me of all this kind of details of your work. So I don't know. It's a lot of, but maybe it works. It's just a lot of.
Well, I mean,
shorten it.
It's 600. It's less than 600 words. I think it's 550 words. I think it's 500. I mean, I don't know. Let me check real fast how many words we got here. 616 words. I mean, I could shorten it, but
well, just shorten this boring part that maybe condense it. That goes into the details of the duck tub and how you all the rules about it. Can we make that more pithy somehow? Because it's just starting to. We can continue if it's
beverage inventory and leftover. Okay, so HQ left you there for 8 hours. An official escort followed you out and helped you load the truck and left you there for 8 hours of boredom. No one ever purchased popcorn in Toontown. At the end of your shift, your relief swung by with a dolly to pick you up with your beverage inventory and leftover popcorn. When mine dropped me off that day, He said, "I'll see you before sunset." When sunset approached and security ushered out the last guest, Toontown closed. I stood there patiently, my popcorn wagon scrubbed clean, the duck tub empty, but no way to bring my merchandise back to HQ. I was abandoned. I waited as long as I could. Then the explosion started. Luckily, guest had forgotten to return their stroller, so I put all the soda bottles in a giant plastic bag stacked with another massive bag full of unsold popcorn and my little bag of money and hurried to escape. The sky lit up with Disneyland's famous fireworks displays as soot and casings rained down around me. Toontown became a war zone. It was only luck and haste that kept me uninjured. Like most things at Disneyland, the mess is backstage and people only see the show side of the spectacle. No one likes to know how the sausage is made, but in this case, it's filled with heavy metals and contaminants that poison the earth and harm animals. Everyone knows the fireworks are as much a horror for people who suffer from trauma as they are for wild and domesticated animals. Even Disney acknowledges this and takes steps to mitigate their massive displays' detrimental effects, but their refusal to join the 21st century and be an example for everyone is the real problem. Their nightly pyrotechnics inspire amateurs to haphazardly celebrate without safety precautions. This causes millions of dollars in property damage every year and likely caused the Palisades fire this year. The resultant annual deaths of humans and animals is a continuing issue that Disney can bring down by adopting modern, more magical methods like lasers, drone animations, and fog projections. I only worked at Disneyland for a couple of years, and I witnessed a fire caused by the fireworks and heard about injuries. Of course, my close call was my most memorable. When I arrived back in HQ, I was given a stern talking to because I had commandeered a sacred stroller. The retail department was extremely protective of them and didn't get along with my department. The only reason I wasn't written up was because I escaped without injury to myself or the duck tub. Over the years, I've learned more about fireworks and see how they hurt people, property, and animals. My hope is that with a little public pressure, Disney will stop inspiring reckless amateurs who light fireworks all over America, turning days of jubilation into days of horror, maybe nights of horror. What I think we could do is start with the explosions and war zone stuff, and then like start in media res. Start with the explosions, war zone, and making the escape, and then explain like why the duck tub thing is important, because I think that's like, it might seem boring, but if I can turn it into like something in the middle and get like, there's no hook is the problem of, I think we need a hook. And I think the hook is
part of a book instead of an op-ed is the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. But every time I read an op-ed, it's like this story, like the ones that get published are like stories from first-person accounts and
Do you know
stuff.
if they're anywhere else?
I don't know. I'm just focused on this, so I'm not sure exactly what else is going on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to try City Hall and the LAPD.
The LAPD, the office, yeah, it's just around the corner. Yeah, it'd be good
Is it that way?
I want to say it's like that way, but I could totally be wrong. Like your Google Maps probably has better directions. But yeah, I would definitely check out City Hall, see if there's anything going on. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption.
Was that a random passerby or was it a member of the press?
Who have you submitted this piece to?
I submitted to anybody.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, if you feel good about it, I would just, get it, change the beginning. The beginning is kind of boring, and it's just like, why do I care about this? You have to start with like 4th of July, blah, 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 fireworks, and then go into your personal story, I think. Like, why does it matter now?
I think it needs a hook.
Yeah.
I want to start with as the fireworks rang out, Toontown turned into a ghost town, and then like a war zone. Toontown turned into a war zone. I think is kind of a funny idea.
To get an op-ed published, you have to start with a current event now, and that is like 4th of July. So if you're gonna like publish it on 4th of July, like, what does 4th of July, like, we're going to bring up 4th of July and fireworks. How are we going to bring that up and then take it back to your personal story? Because most editors are going to read like the first sentence to see if this is any good or relevant. And if it's just like, why do I care about when you worked at Popcorn 10? Like, you know, they're just going to be like, okay, click next. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm hoping that people, because people do like Disney stories, I've noticed. And so I'm hoping that people, you know, why do people care about Popcorn 10? Well, it's not just Popcorn 10 at like the swap meet, you know, it's at Disneyland, where fireworks are going to kill you.
Disneyland. Oh, you do Popcorn 10 is the most boring assignment at Disneyland.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. So Dominion Movement says get out of Toontown can be the hook you start and end with. First, how was related to humans, and last with how related to animals. Yeah, I think the key that it's missing is, like, you're right, like, make it about 4th, but you have to imagine I didn't write this during 4th of July, right? So I think you're right. Like, I'll put something about 4th of July in the beginning, and then I'll put some kind of hook about Toontown being a war zone and how normally it's supposed to be boring, and then try to introduce that part, and try to get a little pithier, and then link it back to animals and 4th of July again. I think that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another person says Karina says talk about Disney as your hook. That's what I think, because 4th of July, Disney does a big 4th of July show. That'll be the thing. I'll be like, Disney's ramping up for 4th of July, their famous 4th of July fireworks display. And boy, have I got a story for you when it comes to Disney and fireworks. You know? I think that could work. And then how many millions of property damage is happening and all that, and what can go. Yeah, I can rework that. Okay, I can do that for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
And everybody, if you haven't already signed up for our newsletter, please do so. I'm about to send out the next newsletter. And if you want to be on the newsletter, please go to ourhonor.org and just get on there and be part of our newsletter. We'd love to have you and include you on our mailing list. That's awesome. And if you're going to be anywhere near the AVMA in Washington, D.C. on July 18th to July 22nd, please email info@ourhonor.org and let us know that you're going to be around so we can organize a meeting with you. I can't tell if you're still there.
Ourhonor.org. You can stand in front of the camera if you want.
I can't hear you, Crystal.
Oh, you can't hear me anymore? Okay.
You just sound really far away.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah.
You said something about the website. You said ourhonor.org.
Oops. Hold on. I'm all tangled here because this camera is pointed in a weird direction and I'm not able to focus myself. So I'm going to stand away from it for a second. Go to ourhonor.org/donate or donate to us at Venmo at Our Honor, Venmo at Our Honor. To donate to us, join our FOIA Friday this Friday at 4:00, where we will be discussing more FOIAs. You can join our FOIA team if you feel so inclined and join our FOIA signal chat, but you have to submit one FOIA every week. And if you don't, then you have to donate $10.
Yeah, that's the deal. I've been donating. I've been not donating. I've been doing FOIAs. And I got an SEC. The SEC wrote me back, and a USDA wrote me back.
Don't let me be. Let me be me. So let me see.
Yeah, the SEC, the FC. That's the FCC won't let me be. Let me be me. So let me see. Yeah, nice. I like that Crystal is quoting Eminem. Sort of. The SEC won't let me be. But yeah, the SEC, the Security Exchange Committee, Security Exchange. I think it's committee. Commission. You're right. They wrote me back, and I can't wait to bring it on FOIA Friday because I can't really totally make sure what they're saying. So I think that'll be good for us to talk about. And the USDA wrote me back too. So I did get a little bit of movement on my FOIAs. about JBS, and I'm looking forward to doing another one this week. I need to do another FOIA tomorrow for FOIA Friday, but I don't know who I'm going to FOIA yet. I still want to keep sniffing around about this JBS thing until I get some information that I want. But I've already FOIA'd OSHA, which I've gotten nothing back from, USDA, who wrote me back, and SEC, who's written me back. I feel like SEC is using a lot of legalese to tell me why they're not going to comply. I think that's what's happening with the SEC. Why they're not going to allow me to get my FOIA request.
I'm sorry.
I think that's what's happening. I don't know. I started reading it today, and I'm like, maybe I need Crystal to help me. She reads more FOIA responses than I do.
Oh, Jesus. You don't need my help. And copy and paste some of the existing ones. And so you did get a FOIA response back. Sorry, I was having trouble hearing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got two responses back. We could talk about it on FOIA Friday. I guess this is just, I was kind of teasing. We do have some stuff happening in the FOIA department of Our Honor. Please come on at FOIA Friday at 4. Please do. Yes. Oh, Sky promised to cover your $10. No, write a FOIA. FOIA somebody, man.
No, well, actually, I could use the $10 if you don't FOIA, so that's fine.
I'm not paying his $10. What are you talking about?
I thought he was paying $10. Okay.
No, he's saying Sky promised. Sacramento had a fireworks show at the Expo Center, and a guy drunk. What did he drunk? Sorry, Sacramento had a fireworks show. Somebody kicked over a firework and almost set everybody on fire one year. Yeah, John Applegate, fireworks are dangerous. And I think places like Disney and other theme parks and municipalities, I think that they perpetuate our ridiculous reliance on them, especially when there are more magical things like drones and projections, all laser shows. There's all sorts of cool stuff we can do. But what are we doing? We're still blowing stuff up in the sky and filling the atmosphere full of heavy metals that falls into the ocean and falls into the lakes and rivers and streams and kills animals and wakes up birds and harms dogs and cats and wildlife. It's really bad news. It's bad. So I want to encourage Disney to stop. You could go to savepluto.org and sign our petition to stop Disney from continuing their fireworks display. Join the 21st century Disneyland. It's way more magical. Thanks for sharing that, John Applegate. I appreciate you. If anybody else would please like this video. If you're on Twitter, thank you so much. I think you can like. I saw a couple for the first time ever. I saw comments coming from Twitter. It's the first time I've ever seen it. Chat comments coming from Twitter. Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought that was cool. I shared a couple of them. So thank you everyone on Twitter for commenting. I'm not sure how you accomplished that. It's the first time I've seen it. And everyone on the Skyjack Morgan channel, thank you. If you're on Twitter, please try to subscribe on Skyjack Morgan or Dr. Crystal Heath or Our Honor or all of them, or I should say. Try to
everybody watching, please find Dr. Crystal Heath or just Crystal Heath on I think it's Crystal Lynn Heath or Crystal Heath on YouTube, Dr. Crystal Heath on Red Note, Dr. Crystal Heath on X, Dr. Crystal Heath on Blue Sky, Crystal Heath on Facebook, Dr. Crystal Heath on Instagram, and Our Honor Vets on Facebook, Our Honor Vets on Instagram, Our Honor Vets on Blue Sky, Our Honor, some numbers on YouTube.
7010 on YouTube. And I'll do my politics podcast tomorrow morning live from California. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I'll see you next Wednesday for All Being Considered and FOIA Friday at 4 right here on this channel. This Friday.
This is Homeland Security pulling out. Hold on. You see that? Homeland Security.
I don't think they should be allowed to put police on there, but Homeland Security. Is it Christy Nome? Christy Nome's in there. What are you doing, Christy?
They can have tinted windows like that, but it does look kind of like.
Yeah, they're allowed to have tinted windows in California, but I'm not. It's great. Oh, shit. I'm surprised they keep the barriers down like that, but I guess they have live ammunition. They're not worried about it. Anyway, yeah. Keep rolling, Christy Nome. All right, well, join some chants, Crystal. Maybe you'll enjoy it.
Probably not. Rather spend time working on my op-eds. I have submitted an op-ed, about my arrest to a bunch, and they didn't accept it, which maybe that's a sign it's for the best. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this publicly before my court date, but we're not,
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to find out. If it were a smaller town, I would say, yeah, be careful. But you're in Los Angeles. They're not. I wouldn't worry about it. Anyway, stay strong, stay safe. Everybody stay safe. Please, this weekend, there's lots of protests. I think you should all go out and have your voices heard, speak truth to power, and challenge the status quo.
Stay home and write something thoughtful that is going to influence change with people who actually matter, which are people in positions of power, who respond to thoughtful, thought-provoking literature. So there you go.
Or stay at home and read Emma Goldman or other anarchist literature.
Read John Sanbon-Matsu's new book,
I want to get. Is it out?
Deception.
Is it out?
He sent me a copy because I bought one, and so if you purchased one, you should have gotten it.
Oh, I'm gonna try to find it. What's the name of it again? It's
The Omnivore's Deception, John Sanbon-Matsu.
Is it H-O-N?
H-O-N. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Sorry, I'm so bad.
With J-O-H-N or J-O-N? Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have an easier time spelling Sanbon-Matsu than spelling John. So Sanbonmatsu. Sanbon-Matsu.
Yeah, I found him.
Omnivore's Deception. Not hard.
Oh, great. It's $30. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Support an author for the movement. Like we all, yeah.
It's $30, man. But Kindle, it's $16.50. Maybe I'll buy it on Kindle. $16.50.
Oh, it's not. It wasn't on Kindle before. I'll purchase the hard copy, but I'll also get it on Kindle so I can search and highlight and all of the stuff, which I love to do.
Kindle,
and copy and paste.
$16.50. God damn, Crystal, it's too expensive. 45%. Are you gonna read it? If you read it, I'll buy it, and then I'll read it with you.
I'm reading it right now.
Oh my God, it's so expensive. All right, I'm gonna buy it.
I'll read it, and then I can send it to you, and you can read it after I'm done. So
that's no fun. It's more fun if I read at the same time you do. All right, I bought it. Damn it! It's okay. It's on my Kindle, at least, and I'm supporting an author that I respect and someone who's been on the show, and I really enjoyed him. I'd like him to come on Ethical Underground. We should call him up and after we read the book, and maybe he'll talk with us about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Of course he will. I think he said he would. I asked him. I asked him, hey, once I read your book, will you come back? And he said yes. Requesting it for your library. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to it in the chat just for everybody to know what we're talking about. If you want to be part of it, here you go. There it is. Good anarchist literature recommendation, Sky. Yeah, The Treasure of Sierra Madre. I think that's pretty good. On Anarchism by Noam Chomsky, and the essays of Emma Goldman. I would recommend those. I'm not a huge. It's not like I'm an anarchist scholar or anything, guys. I don't even know if I'm an anarchist most of the time, but I'm not
an anarchist. Our honor is not anarchist.
Our honor is not anarchist.
No.
But I think that reading Emma Goldman, when we went to AVA, the first quote I saw when I walked into AVA, the Animal and Vegan Advocacy Summit, was an Emma Goldman quote, and I thought that was really interesting. And so read a couple essays, read some Noam Chomsky. Read some anything by Noam Chomsky calls himself an anarchist. You can read him. But yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm not an anarchist, and neither is Our Honor. That's important to remember. We're just talking about literature right now. I don't even. And John Sanbon-Matsu isn't. Maybe he is. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he enjoys labels like that. But Omnivore's Deception. I put it in the chat, and we can all read together if you'd like. All right. All right. Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe, Crystal.
Okay. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.